So you found out you're a projector, generator, manifestor, or reflector, and for a moment, everything made sense. And then it didn't. Because human design type is real, but it's not the whole story. Like your human design type, you can imagine it just as the front door, not the whole house. So let's talk, why human design type became the most popular layer, okay? And it is pretty simple, because it's easy to market, easy to turn into memes, easy to make viral, but it's basically, the same thing that happened to mainstream astrology, right? We're taking a nuanced system and simplifying it into 12 zodiac signs. And even though the zodiac signs have some, common traits, some personality traits, some similarities, they're not the whole story. And the same thing happens with human design types. So let me explain to you what human design type actually tells you. The real thing is the aura mechanics. Aura, is basically the energetic field, we have around us. And it helps us understand, how you interact with life, and how resistance might appear. It doesn't tell us, how we should live. It's basically that layer, that tells us how we interact with one another, Generator aura is usually like really, enveloping, really inviting. It feels like, you're getting covered in a warm, cozy blanket when you're around generators. That's what the aura does. In contrast to, for example, projector, projector sees, really deeply into you, and the aura is so-called penetrating. And what that's doing is, that we basically strip other people naked. Okay, figuratively speaking, okay, not literally, and see directly into their soul, directly into their G center. And that makes people uncomfortable, as simple as it is, So it's important to know these nuances, but they are not the thing that should be running our lives, okay? They're just a flavor, they are just basically a zodiac sign. They're not the full story. So what, human design type doesn't really tell you, it doesn't tell you, your specific gifts you have. I mean, like everybody will tell you, projectors are here to see, okay, and something more. It doesn't tell you the wounds you carry, it doesn't tell you which creative frequency you have, the conditioning patterns you're carrying, right? The decision nuance, brand magnetism, for example, your body intelligence or life team. Because like if we go, deeper into the human design chart, into the human design body graph, we will see that there are human design centers. We have 9 human design centers. We have gates. We have 64 gates. We have channels, that are basically kind of like bridges in between those gates and centers. We have so-called variables. We also have, incarnation graphs. And you see, I have just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, that have nothing to do with your human design type, And I told you, that human design type does not tell you which body intelligence you, for example, carry, right? Which creative frequency you have, who's your ideal client, which gifts you can bring, really effortlessly. So that's why, we actually have those deeper layers, because like generic advice, creates generic self-understanding, and that kind of self-understanding, leads to generic business, generic content, generic decisions, generic life. And it doesn't it doesn't truly help you, it basically like puts you into another box. It's like, it's basically like I sometimes compare human design to diet industry, okay? human design, mainstream human design and mainstream diet industry, is always trying to simplify things, give you the quickest solutions, right? The newest trendy diet. And it keeps forgetting nuances. Are you a female or a male? Are you menstruating? Are you pregnant? Are you in menopause? Do you have any, health conditions that are affecting how you function? There are so many things that actually affect how we, should eat and move. And I would say, human design type is trying to find the best supplements when you don't sleep, don't eat, and don't move enough, whatever movement means for you, of course. So that's, what sometimes, human design typecasting feels for me. Because again, it's basically just the surface, and it's helpful, to help you understand the, the similarities, but it's not the whole story. And, I got sick of watching the same old story playing again. So this is why I don't read people as types. I take a look at the chart as a living architecture. I don't even do readings, by the way. When I work with people, we take a look at, what your body identity, what your business needs, what your life needs, when you're struggling with something. And we take a look at that problem with human design as a lens, as a tool that helps us see more quickly, more, I would say, easily. If you're tired of collecting human design labels, and want to actually understand what your body, identity, and patterns are showing you, this is the kind of work we do inside a session, okay? And this is also why the general advice on human design for business, will tell you that, projector business, generator business, manifesting generator business, manifestor business. And it cannot be, your business and your brand and your marketing cannot be built from your type alone. Two projectors can need completely different brands, different offer structure, two generators can have completely different offers, right? So, your differentiation is the deeper pattern. And that's, what the full human design chart will help us see, not your human design type, That's just the front door, but it's not the whole house. So I invite you to go deeper into what actually matters in human design. And I also mentioned that, it's important to go back to your body because, we have certain placements in our chart that will help us, ground ourselves, when we're not really feeling well, that will help us kind of find our way back to ourselves. And this is what I do in Body Compass. And I've built that as the only deconditioning system that there is, because most of human design will tell you, okay, here's your chart, this is what it means, go experiment. And that's it. They tell you go experiment and work on your deconditioning without giving you any actual tools, or or some kind of direction. So I actually take a small portion of your human design. I take a look at the 4 most important gates, and that's where we start, because that's exactly what creates the most significant results. It's like if you're from business world, you will know the Pareto principle, right? Do those 20%, that get you to the 80% of your results. That's exactly, what we do. So, and it's not connected with your human design type. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, there's more coming your way on this channel.